Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the sudden focus on fishing again from Brexiteers, with GB News pushing a segment on Brexit fishing benefits and the gammons gleefully sharing it around. But the reality is that the value of our fishing industry has gone down since Brexit. They don't mention that one. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So imagine my surprise, I'm doom scrolling Twitter, as is often the case, and I catch sight of a GB News bit with the following tagline: Brexit victory, Britain's fishing quota to surge by 30,000 tonnes as a result of leaving the EU. That's funny, I thought. The fishing quotas were agreed 2 years ago. They're not up for negotiation again until like 2025. Nothing's changed. So why make a big issue of it now? The answer, I suspect, is because Brexit is going badly. It's going very badly. The latest poll has 45% wanting to rejoin the EU to just 38.7% wanting to stay out. Now, as I've said before, when you think about how public opinion on Brexit has shifted just over the last 2 years, you look ahead, it's very difficult for me to see Brexit being safe for the gammons. Never mind what's been said now. The political wind follows public opinion. Public opinion is only going one way. You know, they know it, they need to start arguing that Brexit has brought benefits in order to stem the tide. They're less bothered about net benefits because they know they can trust the Tory media to amplify the hell out of any benefits and shrink down the downsides in their reporting. But they need some benefits. The problem is there aren't any. Or at least the Brexiteers have not come up with any which are not lies. And this fishing bonanza is another one. They're plugging the extra quotas that we got as a result of our Brexit agreement. And you can see the logic behind it to a lot of people. It's like, well, if we have more quotas, we can catch more fish, we can make more money. But quotas is only a limiting effect if you can sell everything you catch. And we can't. You know, because while this is technically true, it's not good news for either the fishing industry or the UK as a whole. And so you go, well, why isn't it good news? We improved our quotas. They're always going on about quotas. That's a good thing, isn't it? Several reasons. Being allowed to catch more isn't any good if you're not physically able to catch more, or you can't sell the extra catch. Fishermen don't risk their lives for the hell of it. They need to sell their catch to be worth it. But before Brexit, half of the crews on British fishing vessels catching the British quota were foreign fishermen. We don't have enough fishermen in the UK to catch the quotas we used to have. We had to hire fishermen from around the world in order to crew the vessels, in order to actually meet those quotas. So increasing the quota does not improve the job prospects for budding British fishermen when we didn't have enough of them before. So would it at least improve the incomes of the too few fishermen we have if they catch more? Well, only if they can sell the catch. Going back to the early days of last year, we just left the single market. We had the stories about those in the fishing industry who couldn't sell their fish at all. The old Class B live bivalve molluscs. That was reported widely. Can't export those to the EU at all. So unless you landed them in a single market country, as some did, bypassing any benefit to the UK economy, you weren't selling many of them at all. But even fishermen whose catch could be sold to the EU were reporting that they were catching less. Why? Because they couldn't sell as much. Why? Massive delays to the Brexit red tape. We've seen it, haven't we? The massive mountain of paperwork needed to sell anything to the EU now applies to fish, which means that it took longer to get the fish to market. Well, fish goes off. Oh my goodness, it goes off. So if the fish were less fresh when it got to market, it would command a lower price. And some wouldn't be fit for sale at all, just left rotting on the side of the dock. But by the time all the Brexit bureaucracy is dealt with, that's it. So you can't sell as much. So there were fishing crews who were just catching less. They were catching less than they were allowed to because they couldn't sell as much as before. And at the time, so we had to extrapolate. Those of us paying attention would look at the process and we'd go, look, the process for exporting to the EU as a third country, lots of paperwork, there are going to be delays. and those delays are going to be pretty bad for fresh fish. We could see the articles on fishermen saying that they can't sell what they used to. We could look at a trajectory that would show that British fishing industry, which was already a tiny proportion of our economy, was going to go into decline. But we don't need to extrapolate now because we've got data. We've got the 2021 data. This is from a publication by the House of Commons. It shows imports and exports of fish by weight. We can see a big old drop in exports during the first year of COVID, and then a bigger drop when we left the single market. Another example of how Brexit was a bigger blow to an industry than COVID. So if Brexit let us catch an extra 30,000 tonnes, how come the actual weight of fish we're landing for exports has gone down? Also, how come our imports don't seem to have suffered much? Would that be because we haven't raised trade barriers to the EU businesses very high for the British market? Remember, we are the only advanced economy who have not yet recovered our economy to pre-COVID levels. The only one. It's data like this which shows you why. Brexit was a beast to a lot of industries. This article in GB News, happily passed around by the usual Brexit crowd, talks about the potential value of the new quotas. But it's based on the idea that if we could actually catch this and sell it all, we'd make this much extra money. But the only way you could catch all those extra fish would be to hire more immigrants, because we don't have enough British fishermen. And if we can't sell the extra, there's no point in having the extra quota, is there? Jacob Rees-Mogg once tried to suggest that a benefit of Brexit was happy British fish. Ignoring their migratory habits, he may be right. Many of those fish are no longer being caught because we can't sell them. Those fish should be delighted. But it is incredibly jarring to see Brexit gammers in the media, even Tory cabinet members, pushing this article with such gusto. Look, Brexit victory. And you can understand it if they had the latest data out, which showed the practical benefits of the deal. But the latest data shows that our fishing industry now exports less fish. Like a couple of years ago, I could have said, and indeed I did say, well, there's going to be lots of extra paperwork, so that means it's going to be harder to get the fish to market in time, so it'll go off, it won't be worth as much, so they won't be able to catch as much. And people would have said, no, it'll be fine. And then a few months later, you go, well, there's these fishermen saying they can't catch as much. And they go, that's just one or two, that's not the entire fishing industry. Now we've got the data. And it shows that fishing is in decline in this country. And it's like the data showing that our free trade agreement with Japan resulted in less beneficial trade with Japan, not more. Brexit continues to do the opposite of what it promised. So the misinformation campaign is having to go into overdrive, which is why it's really important to keep pointing out the reality. The public mood is changing on Brexit. It's not rapid. It's not rapid at all. It's steady. The better we're able to counter the lies, the faster the public mood will turn into political impetus to reverse the madness. The better the lies work, the slower that progress. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.